So, I'm going to be reading an article here from the Wall Street Journal. Not the best source, but, it's got some of the details that I want to touch upon. So, we have got a lot of problems going on with the war in Ukraine. Putin's illegal offensive invasion of a sovereign nation, of course. Ukraine-Russia agreement on evacuating Mariupol civilians collapses. So for those of you that don't know, a couple of days ago, it seems that there was like infinite amounts of talks going on. There are talks. Moscow and Kyiv, whatever, they're in talks. Whatever that means. They're speaking. They're in talks. There's been seen it all throughout the weekend, all throughout the week. You've been hearing, there's going to be talks going on. There's talks. Now, anyone that knows anything about anything is going to realize that the talks mean nothing. It's just, it's just a waste of their time. They were trying to get Zelensky to go to Belarus so that they could assassinate him. He did not do so, to my understanding. But there were talks, and the talks, seemingly a couple of days ago, resulted in a ceasefire, the very specific kind of ceasefire where they want to evacuate civilians and that they would stop firing upon residential areas. That has not happened. So the talks, they were talking. There was talks and nothing happened. So once again, we have some shocking photos here of civilians hiding under destroyed bridges from air attacks and, invaders. And so I want to read here. Kyiv, Ukraine. An agreement between Russia and Ukraine on evacuating civilians from the besieged cities of Mariupol and Volnovakha collapsed on Saturday as Kyiv accused Moscow of violating the agreed-to ceasefire and resuming its attacks on residential areas. Some 200,000 civilians were expected to start leaving Mariupol and 15,000 from Volnovakha in eastern Ukraine at 9 a.m. local time in a deal overseen by the International Committee of the Red Cross. But at 11:15, Russia resumed shelling Volnovakha with heavy weapons while also continuing military operations on the route leading out of Mariupol, said Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk. My apologies. We asked the Russian side to stop the shelling, return to the ceasefire, and allow us to create humanitarian columns so that children, women, and the elderly can leave, she said. She also asked Russia to allow humanitarian aid such as food and critical medication like insulin to reach these cities. The ICRC later said that it understood the safe passage operations for Mariupol and Volnovakha will not start today, adding that it remained in touch with the parties about the evacuation of civilians from cities affected by the conflict. So once again, all week you've been seeing this back and forth of Putin's regime and Ukraine basically saying, we're going to have talks. Putin's like, they don't want to talk to us. Zelensky won't walk into Belarus and get assassinated under the ostensible talks, so it's all their fault. It's their fault. That's what Putin's been saying. Putin has been escalating the propaganda war as well, going on television, talking about making Russia great again. And so, again, we need to understand here that this is a government of liars. The body of a teenager killed by shelling at a maternity hospital. As you can see, I've been showing y'all these videos, and photos of what's going on here in these cities. The area around Irpin has seen heavy battles. Now, again, residents and civilians are taking refuge under these bridges, and it's a bad thing. And again, you can read the rest of this article, but the main point of the info that I wanted to get out of this and the photos, is that Russia is violating their agreement. Now, who would have seen that coming? Sincerely, if anyone thought that Russia and their talks were worth a damn, I've got a bridge to sell you, and it looks a little bit like the one in Irpin. But anyway, solidarity with the Ukrainian people. Again, they need the people that want to get out need to get out. There's no reason for the Russian military to, again, go after civilians. Why are they shelling and bombing apartment complexes? Why are they murdering civilians for no reason? Defenseless civilians that are running away. It's one thing, still wrong, but it's one thing if a civilian is trying to, like, run into the war zone and they get killed on accident or something. That's still bad. But these are civilians that are just trying to live their lives, trying to escape this, oppressive invasion, and they're still being shot down and murdered. And it's horrible. It's horrifying. And so, again, all these talks or whatever don't mean anything. It's all bait. And it's a problem. So